Heyo! Welcome back to the channel. It is Kyle. It is game time. Thank you so much for checking out the video, whether it's your first time or 100th time, 1000th time. I don't think we have 1,000 videos. I think we're pretty close to 300. Anyway, happy 20th anniversary to the Xbox. November 15th is 2021 was the 20th anniversary of the Microsoft Xbox. And I thought we are going to show off the collection here anyway, but I decided to push it back a week or two to kind of go with a week-long Xbox theme. And happy to do it because, we really don't have a whole lot of Xbox content on the channel for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm more of a PlayStation Nintendo guy, but you know what? I also do love Atari and Sega and Xbox and Neo Geo and just all that, ColecoVision, etc., etc. So I'm not necessarily a fanboy of one thing in particular, so glad to have some Xbox content on the channel, and we'll definitely have some more Two-Player Tuesdays here in the near future featuring some, both a classic original Xbox stuff as well as some new stuff for the Xbox One, so stay tuned to the channel for that. Anyway, here's my personal collection. You know what we do by now. I show off a couple items that I have, gaming-wise, controllers, whatever, and show off the games that I have. Again, I do these mainly for myself just to kind of help catalog, but hey, if you're checking it out and are 5% amused, then hey, bonus, honestly. So I have a ton of Xbox games, so much so we're going to divide it into two videos, otherwise I'm going to be rambling on and on, which I'm already doing, so I'm going to stop right now. Anyway, original Xbox, I personally got this not this particular one, but I got mine, I think it was Black Friday of 2003. I remember getting with it Tetris, and the Star Wars Clone Wars game came with it. And of course, I got Halo separately because that was the first game I ever played on the Xbox. It was at a friend's house, and I remember it was on Blood Gulch. I was teamed up with my buddy Eric. We were gaming with two of our friends, and I didn't really know what the heck I was doing. I didn't play. That might have been the first-person shooter I ever played. I remember using the big old Duke controller and was like, what the heck? This is huge, and it's still huge. I'm not a fan of the controller. Uh, so my first impressions of the Xbox, I didn't have a very good time, but it definitely was pretty darn good looking game wise. So I did end up getting one about a year or so later. So of course, Xbox did come with its own DVD player and remote. You had to have this, unlike the PS2, which just played DVDs. You plug it in. I think you had to plug it into the first or fourth slot, and then you use the controller here, which is a little dusty. My apologies, but kind of neat. I like the little X it makes right there in the middle. Kind of fun. And as far as other controllers and whatnot, they did slim it down about a year or two later with the Xbox Controller S, and this is one that everyone knows. This is fun to use. Still, actually, a favorite controller. I really love the. It's very thick. I love the feel and holding on to it. It just has the right feel. I also have kind of this cool metallic green one. It's a little weird lighting. My apologies. Videos here lately haven't been super great. And a nice blue one, similar to that green. Little dust right there. My buddy Musty Hobbit, check out his channel. He's gone through a few channels now, but currently is Xboxer Briefs. He reviews some very underrated and overlooked original Xbox games. He sent me this one. I bought it from him. So Musty, if you're watching, still have it, and it still gets used once in a while. Of course, the original box that it came with. This isn't mine. This is my buddy Mustang's, who has done some Two-Player Tuesday videos with me. You can see right there on the box itself. I'm just going to do it sideways there because this thing's heavy. I have one in here. This one came with Jet Set Radio and Sega GT 2002. I know everybody loves Jet Set Radio Future. Oh yeah, this is Jet Set Radio Future. And I'm going to go do this, just because it's a little easier. Some screenshots of some original classic Xbox games. KOTOR is on there. That is good stuff. And Tony Hawk's always good stuff. They have a lot of sports games on there, and several games I haven't really heard of. I never heard of this Tao Fang. I never really heard of Kung Fu or Quantum Redshift. So, Musty, if you have those, definitely give a review for some of those. I don't actually know too much about them. Kind of shows a little bit of what came with. Here on the side, you can look at that DVD movie playback kit. Some accessories that are sold separately, additional controllers, blah blah blah. And yeah, not too much right there on the side either, but a pretty large box. I did like Microsoft's original name for it was Project Xbox or something like that. I don't know. Got this cool pin. How about that little Xbox collectible pin? Wow, this thing's not focusing very well. There we go. Pretty fun. All right, now the main event, the games. Like I said, I have a lot. I'm just going to do maybe about 1/3 of them on this video because it's already like 5 minutes. And we'll do the rest on a part 2, which will be linked at the very end of this video. So I'm going to start us off with the Grand Theft Auto Double Pack. Pretty neat. Vice City and GTA 3 in there. This is kind of fun too. When I got rid of an Xbox originally, I had this game. I gave one Vice City to a friend and GTA 3 and the case to another buddy. And many years later, I would get the case back. So that GTA 3 that's in there is the my original one, whereas Vice City is, I think, just an extra pre-owned game that I had. So I do like the covers for them, kind of a cool look, different than the original versions that looked a lot like this with the San Andreas there, have the same grid background. Pretty cool. And I'm one of those people, yeah, the Xbox versions of these games were superior. There's custom soundtracks, trigger driving, and upgraded visuals, definitely. But you know what? I still like playing them on PS2 better. I might be the only one. I'm kind of weird. That's just me. I don't know why. Star Wars Battlefront 2 still, I guess, a lot of people's favorite Star Wars game to this date. This is a lot of fun to play, and we're definitely doing a 2-player Tuesday for this one here in the near future. That is a lot of fun. Got some DOA 3. I think I have all the DOAs, but again, these aren't in any order whatsoever. Just want to point that off. 2 of my utmost favorite first-person shooters, Time Splitters 2 and Future Perfect. Love them so much, I also have them on the Nintendo GameCube, which is where I first played them. Fantastic games. I'm not going to talk too much about them. I think we did a 2-player Tuesday with Future Perfect in the past. I'll let you look them up, see why they're so great. Otherwise, literally the rest of the video would be just me gushing on them. Here's that particular game it came with. Sega GT 2002. Fantastic racing game, actually, and from Sega. And I'm back. Jet Set Radio Future. Fun little rollerblading game. If you like the Tony Hawk games and you haven't checked this one out, do so. I think it's pretty good. I think that disc is actually in that Xbox right now. But I like it because it does come with both manuals. So it is definitely in this Xbox. I remember we were playing Jet Set Radio not too long ago. Some classic Counter-Strike. Never been very good at it, but enjoy the game. And Xbox's answer to Mario Party Fusion Frenzy. This first one did get a lot of playtime. I liked a lot of the mini games that were included in there. There was a sequel, lesser known sequel, for the 360 Fusion Frenzy 2. Kind of the same characters, some of the same mini games. Didn't quite catch on quite as well. That one's not as good. Speaking of good sequels here, Spider-Man 2, much like Star Wars Battlefront 2, Spider-Man 2 is, I think, a lot of people's favorite Spider-Man game, and still one of the best superhero games to this date. Tenchu Return from Darkness. This is the exact same game as Tenchu Wrath of Heaven, something like that, on the PS2. They just brought it over to the Xbox, changed the name a little bit, and again, a bump up in the graphics and everything. But love those classic stealthy ninja games like Tenchu. I really wish that series would make a comeback. Seriously. If you love Splinter Cell, Metal Gear, you would like Tenchu. It's basically that, but with ninjas. Outlaw Golf 2. I do have the first one as well, but kind of fun. Really wacky, over-the-top golf game. Kind of see Dominatrix there with her pimp. Got some pretty fun characters. Oh, it was right underneath here, the original Outlaw Golf. So, if you want a little more edginess in your golf games, give those a go. They're decent golf games as well. a little bit of a filler here. Texas Hold'em, or excuse me, Bicycle Casino. But I like some casino games. Good slots in there. Kind of fun to play. Let's see, we just passed 10 minutes. Let's finish up here with just this handful of games. I mentioned the one that came with my original Xbox as a packed-in game. That was it right there. Star Wars Clone Wars. It was decent. I don't know, not that great. And a fun version of Tetris called Tetris Worlds. Again, one of those with the double instruction manuals there. Both came on one disc. I like that. I do have the Pac-Man World series. I have the first one. It was for PlayStation, original PlayStation. And I have Pac-Man World 2 for GameCube because that's one that came with Pac-Man Versus, which is a fantastic party game. And still one of the best ways to play that particular game. And I'm like, you know what? They're actually kind of decent platformers. Check them out if you haven't played them or heard of them yourself. So I thought I'd get the third one there. Also, speaking of threes, that Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars Episode 3. It's a fun hack and slash. The movie itself, you know, those prequels, yeah, we all know. But, yeah, if you want a good modern hack and slash game, there you go. And we'll round things out with this batch of games. More Dead or Alive. Yep, I think if you're a straight male like myself, you probably got this game. It's beach volleyball. The volleyball itself's not very good. Or I'm just terrible at it, or a combination. And we'll finish off with pretty much the game everyone had with the original Xbox. Happy 20th anniversary to the Halo franchise. Still one of my favorite shooters. Love the series. Halo 5 was kind of weak, but the rest of the game, especially 3, ODST, and Reach, fantastic stuff. Halo 2, or if you prefer, Halo 2 in the Steelbook. This thing's quite heavy. The case itself's a little bit dirty. Again, this isn't my original copy. This was my buddy's. But big, thick instruction booklet with that one. Cool back to it. And before, well, I shouldn't say before because Halo or Xbox Live was kind of around during this time. You could download multiplayer maps through Xbox Live, or if you didn't have the internet, whatever, you had the multiplayer map pack right there. It came with a handful of extra maps you could download or install it on the Xbox with the disc here. So kind of a fun novelty to have. You know, this was DLC on disc. So kind of like to see some companies still do that, but maybe it's kind of weird. Thanks everybody for checking out part 1, and again, we'll link part 2 at the end of this video. It should be popping up right now, so be sure to check that one out, and we'll see you in that one. And everybody take care, happy gaming, etc. We'll see you next time.